everyone, welcome to today's tutorial, and in this video I will be showing you how you can recreate this packaging template of an eye cream. So this kind of eye cream is mainly used for medicinal purposes if you have any type of allergic reaction in your eyes, or if you're experiencing eye pain or eye puffiness or dark circles, etc., and you usually go to the doctor to get your eyes checked, then this is kind of like that same cream that the doctors will prescribe to you. Right, so let's get started and let me show you how you can create this template. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create a new document. So I will be using this A4 size document, which is 210 millimeters by 297 millimeters, and I will be renaming my document to be medicine box template, and it's for an eye cream, like that. And I let the orientation be portrait, and let's create. Okay, so I'll be zooming out a little so that I can see all these sides of the cream. When it gets folded into a square, and these are the flaps on the top and the bottom as well. So over here, when I open my document, by default my layer 1 also gets opened up. So I'll be renaming layer 1 to be template, and I'll be also making sure that my smart guides has been switched on, because smart guides will actually help me a lot to make my medicine box template. So in order to do that, I'll be going to view and making sure that the smart guides has been switched on from here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'll be making all the sides of my template, which is like the same size of my document, which is A4 size. So I'll be coming back to my rectangle tool right here, and I let the fill and the stroke be the way it is, which is over here. The fill is white and the stroke is black. So what I'm going to do is that I'll be taking a reference of my original document and making this A4 size document right here, and I'll just drag this and keep it here on the side of my document like that, making sure it's perfectly aligned like this. Okay, just push it down a little bit more. Yep. So this is the front side, this will be the side, but I'm going to make small changes. So usually the sides of any box it's much more narrower, right? So I'm just going to select this box and bring it here to the middle and make it like this. So I'm going to use the rectangle tool again, and I'm going to make the back side of my template, which is the same size of my document. Oops. Wait. Yeah. Resize this again, like that. Come back here to the rectangle tool and make size of document. Once that's done, I'll just drag this again to the side of my document like that, and I'm going to select this and bring it to the other side as well. So click on Alt to make a copy. Select this, click on Alt or Control C, Control V, and just bring it over here. So I'm going to select these and make sure, and I'm going to increase the stroke size to 3, so that wherever you see all these lines in between, that's the place where the box will get folded. So now that we've got like the main body, we have to make now these flaps. So what I'm going to do is that I'll be using the rectangle tool again, and I'll make one really big box like that. I'll select the rectangle tool again and make a smaller rectangle over here. And now I'll be choosing the direct selection tool and select these two anchor points by clicking onto Shift and just use these circles to round the edges off like that. So once that's done, I can just select this, right click on this, go to Transform, Reflect, and I'll make sure that the horizontal axis has been switched on because I want to make the same mirror image opposite, and click on Copy. And once that's made, I can just select this and bring it over here to the bottom and align it like that. So we've got this one flap, and now we have to make these 4 flaps as well. Similarly, I'll be going back to the rectangle tool, and as you can see, the smart guides automatically detects from these pink lines where I have to make my circle, make my next flap. So this line over here, this pink line, it's like the midpoint of the bigger rectangle, and this is where I start with, and like that. So once that's made, I'll be using the direct selection tool again, and I'll be clicking onto this anchor point and I'll be bringing it a little inwards. So to do that, I'll be clicking on Shift and the right arrow keys to bring it inwards once, twice, thrice, 4 times and 5 times like that. Once that's made, I can make another mirror image of the same thing down over here. So to do that, I'll select this flap, right click on this, go to Transform, Reflect, making sure that my horizontal has been switched on, and click on Copy. So once this is made, I can then just drag it down like that. Just bring it down a little bit more like that. Okay, so we've got this. Now I'll select these two and I'll make another mirror image of the same thing on this side as well. So I'll be repeating the process again by right clicking on this, go to Transform, Reflect, and this time I'll be selecting the vertical option and clicking on Copy. So once that's made, I can then just drag it like that. That's done. So we've got all the flaps, and the only thing that's left to do is that I will just have to adjust this a little so that it's aligning like that. Now the last flap that I have to make is this one right over here. So I'll be coming back to my rectangle tool again, and I'll be making one thinner rectangle like this. I'll choose the direct selection tool again. I'll select this anchor point and I'll click on Shift and the down arrow keys and move it inwards like this, and I'll do the same thing on the other anchor point as well. Click on Shift and the top arrow key and bring it inwards like that. So once that's made, I can go ahead and also lock my layer so that when I add any graphic to my template, I do not accidentally move any portions around. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and create a new layer, and in this layers 2 panel, I'll rename layer 2 to be graphics. Click on OK. So I'll start by making these blue lines right over here. So to do that, I'll be using the rectangle tool, and I'll change the fill from this drop down menu to this blue box right here, this blue option, and I'll just make one small blue rectangle like this, and I'll just bring it down, adjust this a little. Okay, I'll choose the rectangle tool again, and this time I'll change the color to a lighter shade of blue, and I'll go ahead and make another rectangle, sorry, a bigger square like that. So I'll select these two and I'll go ahead and also remove the stroke. I do not require it in this one. So once that's made, I can make another I can make a mirror image of these two rectangles on the top over here as well. So to do that, I'll select these two, right click, go to transform, reflect, and click on horizontal and click on copy. Once that's done, I can just use the shift and the up arrow keys to move it upwards like that. So we've got this, and now I have to make this one as well. So what I'm going to do is that I'll be selecting these, clicking on Alt to make a copy, and I'll just use Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and I'll just use the arrow keys to bring it down like that. I'll use the rectangle tool again, and this time I'll create a rectangle like this, and this time I'm going to add a gradient to this as well. So I'll click on this gradient tool, and over here by default my gradient slider is from white to black, so I want the same shades of these blue colors. So I'll select the white one, and I'll choose this light shade of light blue, click on this black color and choose a darker shade of this, and I'll change the angle to 90 degrees so that the darker shade is pointing upwards and the lighter blue is on the bottom like that. Okay, so we've got this, and now we have to add the other elements as well, such as this leaf and the leaves over here, the barcode, and these two additional rectangles as well. So I'll be changing the fill to light blue again, coming back to my rectangle tool. I'll just make one small rectangle like this, and I'll make another thinner rectangle like that. So we've got this. Now for adding the leaf and the barcode, so I've already saved these images, and you can easily find these images up on Google. So I'll be first adding the leaf. To do that, I'll be clicking on Ctrl+O, and I'll be choosing this one, this leaf vector PNG. And since, as you can see, that there is a lot of these negative space and I do not require these excess negative space, so I'll just click on crop image, and I'll go ahead and also crop this a little bit. Like this, click on apply, and I'll bring it over here. So I'm going to resize this by clicking on Shift+Alt, resize this, and I'm just going to go ahead and place it over here so that it overlaps a little bit. Similarly, I'm just going to go ahead, close that. Yes. No, wait, I don't have to save this. No. So I'm going to do Control plus C and Control plus V to make a copy and place the other one over here. I'm going to make a mirror image over here as well. Right click, transform, reflect and copy. Once that's made, I can just place it over here like that. So we've got this, and now the only thing that I have to add in the graphic portion is the barcode over here. So click on Ctrl plus O again, and I'll open this barcode image that I had already saved. You can find these images up on Google and save it accordingly. So just drag this over here, right below like that. So we've got this, and I'm going to go ahead and also lock this layer. I'm going to create a new layer now which says text. Actually, there's another thing I just forgot to add in the graphics, which is like the over here, which says the ingredients that I used to make this eye cream. So I click on Ctrl plus O again and type out ingredients of eye cream. Open. So I'm going to just crop this as well. Like this. Apply. I'm gonna bring it over here on the side. Zoom in. I'm just gonna resize this a little and just place it right here and bring it upwards, and now I'm going to go ahead and lock my layer. Okay, and now for the text, I'm going to add the other important information as well. I'm going to go to this text type tool right here and make my type box like this, and over here I'm just going to add in a simple word such as eye cream. I'm going to go ahead and also increase the font size to 72. I'm going to go ahead and also expand this so that it becomes into a vector image, and then I can go ahead and also expand this even further. I'll make sure that the object and the fill option has been switched on and click on OK. So once you get this, you can just easily make this bigger. I'm gonna bring it over here. And now let's see what else that I have to add. It's like the directions to use. I'm gonna go back to the type tool again and make one box like this. I'm gonna write directions to use. I'll select this and I'm going to resize this, change the font size to 48, and I'll type in wash your face thoroughly before you apply. I'm going to change this font size to 36. What else is written? And okay. In case of any allergic reaction, consult your doctor immediately. Consult your doctor. And I'm gonna write one more which says use the cream as per prescription, and I'll use the direct selection tool and I'll make this centrally aligned like that, and I'll get this word down like that. Okay, so we've got this. I'm gonna select this and I'm just gonna make it semi-bold like that. So we've got this. I'm gonna add one more